Charlotte, you were quite close to David. So, I mean, how did you get a sense of how he was feeling when the show started to fall to pieces, and when the network started to come down on it? I mean,
Started?
Yeah.
From the very
Right.
beginning.
Yeah,
They did. They wanted to control it, but you know, it really was the first time a major motion picture director was doing a series. So I think they kind of felt they had to give him a little bit of leeway, and then they started watching the show. You know, because I don't think he gave them any more scripts than. I mean, in fact, they didn't. They just blatantly didn't give them any more scripts, and. If you ever get a chance to talk to Catherine Coulson, she was very, close on a lot of that information. And so I think toward the end, when they were really giving us a lot of trouble, that's when Agent Cooper got shot at the end of the first season. He said, if they don't pick us up, that's the end of the show. You don't find out who killed Laura Palmer. You don't find out who shot Agent Cooper. He didn't. He said, screw him. So I think toward the end, he kind of lost a little interest, and I think it showed. And I hate to say this, but toward the end there were too many extra characters, too many more writers, too many more directors, and maybe they were trying to do a David Lynch. Yeah. And I don't think you can do a David Lynch unless you are a David Lynch.
In the past year or so, there's been a lot of rumbling and rumors and Netflix and all this kind of thing talking about the possible return of Twin Peaks. Do you put any stock in them, and would you, if asked?
I would only do it if David Lynch was involved, and I don't think that we could do that again. I think it was really lightning in a bottle special for the time. Like, what would you do now? I don't know. I think just the retrospectives, the continuing to study it, all of that is really important. Just learning how special of an experience it was. When you're talking about like the sound that David loved so much, it's like if we were filming something and a big airplane went overhead, and most people in the business would stop, there's an airplane, he would say, there's airplanes that fly overhead all the time. And so he would just build in the airplane if he liked the take.
That's because we're filming right by the airport.
Shh, I'm not supposed to say that. But yeah, it was a special experience. I don't think that you can do that again.
We have, I've been to several events where they say, oh, we're so disappointed because David Lynch isn't here and we have so many questions. He doesn't want to answer them. He has no desire to answer them. He doesn't want to tell you what he meant by anything. He says the work stands on its own.
And he also encouraged us to, that he really kind of taught us this ethic that you don't talk about the stuff that happens behind the scenes. That's the magic of filmmaking. You don't talk about where you filmed it or what you did or stuff. So even to this day, I'm kind of careful about what I share, just about the projects that I do, because I believe in that. It's magic. I don't want to know that Titanic was filmed on a stage in a tank. I want to believe that I'm there, so.
For all of you, I guess, to start, what have your experiences been with Twin Peaks fans? I mean, obviously, you're in the group.
You guys are great.
But I mean, if people recognize you, do you feel blessed? Do you feel annoyed? Do you feel nostalgic? How do you react?
I actually, this has been pretty, it's been sort of a nostalgic day, actually. I did a retrospective at USC, which lasted about 3 months, I think. And it was like, I didn't go to the final night. But it's been, and I'm also on another show right now that's just celebrating like 50 years on television. I have not been on that show for 50 years. But it's been kind of the whole past year has been sort of this is your life, and I've been like, the one thing that I mean, apart from meeting like great people and people that maybe put more thought into what I was doing than I ever did, I kind of just, I keep wondering where the time went. It's like so, it's not like looking at yourself younger or like anything. I just keep thinking like, wasn't that like last year? Wasn't it 2 years ago? Wasn't it like last weekend? Like where has this time gone? It's like, it's pretty remarkable, and I feel sort of blessed in one way that it's all been great fun and a great ride, but I also feel kind of like a little gypped in another way that it's just gone by so quickly. So,
Well, for me, like, this nostalgia is great. I'm here in London promoting a show that I'm doing right now called Witches of East End, which I think all Twin Peaks would love. All Twin Peaks fans would love it. Yeah. So, but as I was doing this whole like press junket yesterday, literally half of my interviews were about witches, and then the other half went to Twin Peaks. And just like little, not bookends, because I'm not done, but you know, just to see the range of, you know, what I did back then, what I'm doing now, and how it's just stayed the test of time, and how many fans there still are, and how they regard Twin Peaks. And it's just fun, because, you know, in every interview, literally, they would do this little, like, so I have to ask you, you know, and I was like, Twin Peaks. So that's really fun.
Well, you know, I'm looking around the audience and I'm thinking that, you know, I do a lot of traveling on behalf of Little House on the Prairie, and the fans that come to the Little House on the Prairie events are all dressed in bonnets, aprons, you know? And I look around here, I go, oh God, Twin Peaks fans, you're the best.